Sunday's my rest, and Saturday I'm going to do this and go with family. That planning makes it so much more enjoyable. So click. What if you don't plan? For instance, we talked about eating. What if we randomly eat when we're hungry? Okay, so you wait until you're hungry, and then you eat, and then you wait again. My hunger thing doesn't seem to work really well anymore. So I'm not a good judge of that. It worked great when I was a teenager, but that doesn't work anymore. How about you only work if you need money? See, that doesn't play out correctly. If you spend time with your friends when they happen to be around you. I was really struck with that recently, and that goes along with fun. What if we only see each other Sunday morning? Then is it really a relationship? Am I really growing deeper with some of you? You're my dear friends. And don't I have to be intentional about it instead of accidentally seeing people? Okay, click. So, what does a Labrador look like when he doesn't plan his meals? See, you know that about Labradors, right? They're like when I was a teenager. Any food will be eaten around you. So this Labrador needs to plan his meals better, okay? So that's the same dog. And that dog went through a nice regimen. He planned his exercise, he planned his eating, and now he looks really great. So planning is an important part. Now for the dog, you have to do the planning for them. I realize that. But you know, we're responsible for ourselves. And here's the verse that talks about rest. Remember the Sabbath day by keeping it holy. 6 days you shall labor and do all your work, but the seventh day is a Sabbath to the Lord your God. On it you shall not do any work, neither you, nor your son or daughter, nor your male and female servant, nor your animals, nor any foreigner residing in your towns. Now, that's Old Testament rules, right? And we're not bound by Old Testament rules anymore. However, a lot of the principles we see in the Old Testament were put in place because God knows how He built us. And we apparently, taking from that, we need some kind of a weekly cycle with rest in there. So if you can make Sunday your day of rest for the Sabbath, that's great. Some of you, your work schedule, maybe it's going to be Thursday. But what I learned from it is intentionality, is the need for rest, etc., that it's important. So next slide. So how about food? And I talk a lot about food because I enjoy food a lot. I really like eating. And fun is often associated with food and fellowship. Hey, here's a scripture from Exodus. Said 3 times a year you are to celebrate a festival to me. Celebrate the festival on unleavened bread. For 7 days eat bread made without yeast as I commanded you, etc. Then celebrate the festival of harvest. Then celebrate the festival of ingathering at the end of the year. Now, just like I was saying about the Sabbath, we are not constrained by these as rules anymore, but the principles take hold, that it's good to celebrate and come together as a community. And we can set our own times, is the beauty of that. But it's important. Don't live your life in isolation, but live your life with planned feasts, that we have together. And it can be just a few people, it can be a huge group like this, but it is important. Okay, next slide. And I love how Jesus was an example of this. I put the wrong verse there, sorry about that. This is obviously from the Gospels, but it says, "Then came the day of unleavened bread on which the Passover lamb had to be sacrificed. Jesus sent Peter and John, saying, "Go and make preparations for us to eat the Passover." "Where do you want us to prepare for it?" they asked. He replied, "As you enter the city, a man carrying a jar of water will meet you. Follow him to the house that he enters, and say to the owner of the house, 'The teacher asks, where is the guest room where I may eat the Passover with my disciples? He will show you a large room upstairs, all furnished. Make preparations there.' They left and found things just as Jesus had told them. So they prepared the Passover." And of course, the famous photograph of the event with Jesus, they're all facing the camera there at the table. But the point is, sometimes people visualize Jesus as the hippie type who's just wandering around. Yeah, whatever happens, I love you all. Yeah, that's cool. But you follow Jesus' life, he was a planner of everything. You know, he's like, okay, we're going to go here, and we're going to have this. I'm going to preach to this group. We're going to get food for them. I've got everything covered. You know, he was completely planned and organized all of the time. And that's one of the things that attracted people to him. Is like, you know what's going on. You know what we're doing. Nothing is shocking to you. So Jesus, the planner, full of love, yes, but not just a random guy. In other words, Jesus wasn't a follower of dudism. What's the name of the movie? The Great Lebowski. Yeah, the philosophy came out of that whole movie, and it's actually a recognized religion now, dudism, where you just whatever happens. So Jesus is the opposite of dudism. He is the planner. He is the guy who wants his friends around him. Okay, next slide. So how about tools for planning? Let's get practical. I know for myself that if I don't put it on my phone calendar, then I may not be there. I have to put everything on my calendar. I lose track of it. And I don't think of myself as powerful-minded enough that I don't have to do it. I do reminders for myself. I put it on the calendar. So you may think, well, Marty, surely he knows he's supposed to go to church Sunday morning. Guess what? I've got on my calendar with a reminder, worship service. And it's starting at this time. I got Sunday school, and I got all of my weekly things. They're on there. Because if I don't plan it, it's not as likely to happen. So I'm curious, how many people still use a paper calendar? Because paper calendars are cool. You have a paper calendar. Okay, that's good. That's a good number. And now how many people use electronic calendars? And it's interesting. It's almost 50-50. And both are really good, right? But you do need a tool for something. And the more that we plan together and put it on the calendar, the better we're going to be. How about family meetings? Because I'm talking more than just the church. But what if you and your family get together and say, hey, the next month, what are some of the things we'd like to do? You know, have we gone to this restaurant? Maybe we can go there next weekend. Or maybe we can go to Disneyland in 3 months or what time from now. Or if you come together as a family and plan it, then things will happen. And then you can financially plan the things also, like Disneyland's very expensive, right? So if you start saving up money, then you can go. So family planning, researching, pre-purchase. So sometimes it takes work just to figure out your fund. Remind others. See, we as Christians, if we're transformed into these awesome, fun planners, then over time we'll increasingly be able to invite our friends to whatever. I'm not zeroing in on one thing. I'm just saying you're with your friend. Go have dinner, just for fun. You know, you'll be an influence for good for those around you. And at the last bullet, I put plan to not overwork yourself with your fun. Be cautious. Like, does a fun event have to have you cooking for 7 days in advance and all of that? What if you make it simple? Like, what if you go on a hike and you plan to just stop by the grocery store on the way and get a sandwich there? Make it easy so you don't stress yourself out. You're still planning, but you're not overworking yourself that way. You just know what the plan is. And I found that helps me a lot not feel overburdened with planning. So next slide. So now, once you're there, please enjoy the moment. And that's crucial for your life. You notice how Jesus, he was always in the moment. When he was with his friends, he was talking to them. Someone come and talk to him, he would address them. The woman at the well, he talked to her. There's nothing else happening in the world. There's her and there's him and they're talking, right? And so when you're at fun events, try to not think of the past, try to not think of the future, but just enjoy the moment. Build your relationships, laugh, etc. So next slide. Hey, the final thing we're doing is I want you now, we talked about what is your planning tool. I want everyone to get it out, okay? This is the practical part of the lesson. And start putting down these things. You don't have to put all of these bullets. These are choices. This is your spectrum of fun that we as a church are doing. Not at the exclusion of all the other fun things you're doing. Not at all. It's just if we don't plan it, we're not going to accidentally be here with these things. I put at the top of the list the normal year-round things. And like I said, I even have my calendar. And if you can remember it better than me, that's great. More power to you. But I've got Sunday morning on there. I've got Sunday school. I got my small groups. They're all on my calendar with my reminder. So, you know, like I'm sitting at work on a Tuesday night. And ding, it's like, okay, I got to start wrapping things up. I got the small group. You know, the reminders are fantastic. So now, what about these other things we're doing this summer? We've got bonfires at Dockweiler Beach. Now that's been advertised as a youth thing, and it is. We've got the high schoolers and the junior high schoolers at that, but we also have a bonfire for the adults. And I tell you, my personal testimony is, it is so fun being at those because it's pure relaxation. I don't get to just sit on the beach very often. And that's a time I can do that. So, let's see, is this on? All right. So, Ben, I know that you've come to some of the bonfire events. Tell everyone what you've enjoyed about it.
Well, I've always really enjoyed them. I always look forward to them in the week. I really just enjoy relaxing, as my dad says, and just being able to be there with not only my friends that I bring, but also my church friends and from all the different churches in the area. So seeing friends I don't get to normally see on a daily basis. And it's just a lot of fun. You're down at the beach having a bonfire. I mean, you can't really go wrong with that. And it's just relaxing and fun. We play some games, and then at the end we sing songs, which I think is a really cool thing that we do. So.
Yeah, thanks, man. So that's an example. It's become part of my life. I really look forward to it all summer. You know, it's funny. I tell people at work, yeah, I'm going down to the beach. We're having a bonfire. And most of the people at work are like, oh, I wish I did something fun every once in a while. You know, because people, they don't tend to plan fun stuff. They just go home and watch TV and they come back to work. You know, and not every night, I know, but that's just a fun, different kind of thing to do. And so it's organized for us. Beach volleyball. That's at El Segundo Beach at the end of Grand Avenue, 5 p.m. every Saturday. So Kathleen, I know, has done that in the past. I don't know if she's doing it right now. But so if you like beach volleyball, put that on your calendar. You'll always find someone there. And then we've got King's Camp. That's coming up in, not this week, not the week after that, in 3 weeks. So that's for the kids. And I know a lot of the kids are missing, but we even have counselors. Aaliyah, you can use this one. Aaliyah, just describe how King's Camp is fun for you.
Okay, so I've gone to King's Camp for like a decade or more. So I've done a lot at King's Camp. I've been a kitty camper, staff member, and I'm going to be a counselor. And yeah, it's been a blast throughout the years that I've gone and all the different roles that I've played there. And yeah, just as a camper, getting poured into by so many people, and as a staff member and counselor, being able to pour back into the kids and just seeing the younger generation of Christians and just fellowship for an entire week, not having to worry about anything else, and just being there up in the mountains with God and with the people that also love God. So it's an amazing experience.
And they have food there, right? Yeah. So then we have a bunch of different young adult events. And Christian, let me see, there you are. Just describe, not like an announcement, what does it mean to you, some of those young adult events?
Sure. So the young adult events have been a lot of fun because it gets us all outside of the church. We're able to spend time with each other, really get to know each other in a kind of different way and find out about each other's personal lives and really build those relationships and kind of bond with each other. And so it's been a lot of fun for that reason because, after church you can have that short little time period, like talking real quick, and you're like, all right, now I want to go eat, so let's get out of here. But at these kind of events, we're really able to kind of like spend a lot of time together and really get to know each other and build relationships.
That's so cool. And it takes planning, right? It doesn't accidentally happen. Yeah. So then, park days and outings for our children, like Beverly, you've been a part of that, right?
Yeah, so the families with young children occasionally, not just in the summer, but throughout the year, we'll grab our lunches for our families after church, and we'll meet at a park, in Hawthorne or here at Wake Park. Those have been the places that we've gone so far, but it's like a huge play date for all the kids and the adults, and we get to know each other and encourage each other and just find out what's going on in our lives.
So cool. Excellent, thanks, Bob. And then, let's see, where's Jennifer? So there she is. We have Kids Church that's coming up, beginning July 27th. And then Ladies Group at the Park. So Jennifer, describe that.
Yeah, well, our ladies group meets every Thursday morning at 9:30, usually at Hilltop. But in the summer, because the kids are at Hilltop more in the summer, they take over. And so we've started meeting at the park instead, at Rec Park. And it's just a lighter atmosphere because we're in a park. And so people bring their kids and the kids play around. And people bring snacks and it's a lighter environment than normal Bible study group. But we have our discussion and we have our group, and sometimes we trail off. And poor Michelle, Monica bought her a bell so she could ring it and get us back on track because we have way too much fun. So I look forward to it every week, and if I don't go, I really feel like I missed something in my week.
Thanks so much. And it's not just for ladies with kids, right? Yes. So everybody would like an outing there. And then Tim, just describe what that last one is, the specialties camp.
Yes, we've got a men's accountability group we started about 2 years ago. It was started based on the Authentic Manhood on Right Now Media. And so 4 of us right now get together. It's my highlight of my week. I get to sit here and talk to the men, check in with what's going on, use Jesus as the man and the model we want to follow and to hold us accountable. And we discuss things. It's a safe place. You can discuss anything. Substance abuse issues. You can talk about relational issues. Anything like that. And then we try and walk the talk. And for example, one of the employees had surgery the other week. Was going to be out 6 weeks. And we asked to pray for her. And she just, thank you. So we prayed for her. Well, she was back to work in less than 2 weeks. So answered prayer, we put that on prayer request here. So these things come out and we're trying to do it as positive role models. We have people coming up and we're very quiet in the back, still come up saying it's great to see men pray. So that's what this is about. If you're a man and you want to come out and just even see what the check-in's all about, please join us 7 a.m. at specialties. Thank you.
And they have food there, right? Yeah. Now, we haven't even put everything, as you know, but I just want you to have intentionality. That's the point of this whole discussion. The intentionality is actually godly, and it's very cool. And so our fun level for all of us is going to continue to ramp up all summer. So I hope to see you at some of these events. And Michael, do we have a closing song?
We do. Thanks, Marty. Let's stand.